I'm Chris Fowler, I'm the General Manager here, and I'd like to welcome everybody on behalf of the National Trust and on behalf of Fountains Abbey to Alistair and Jonny as well. We're delighted to have the inaugural triathlon here at Fountains. It sort of came about when I think you sort of thought it might be a good idea to have a swim around our lake, which allowed you into. Then we sort of started putting everything together, and we met up just before the Olympics, and it all started to come to place. So we've now got this fantastic event set up. We're, as a National Trust, not just about houses and gardens. We have some of the most outstanding areas throughout the country in terms of both coast and countryside, which is in our care. And not only is it in our care, it's in our care right here in Yorkshire. We've just launched a new cycling initiative, and for those of you that are cyclists, it now means if you cycle here, you do get a free cup of tea. Yes, it's a free cup of tea. So if you cycle here, we'll be able to be really, and you might get yourself on.
Thanks. I won't pay for mine.
No, you won't now. We've changed the policy, so that's good, isn't it? And we also have got bike locks that you can borrow so that your bikes are safe, and we've got more cycle racks available, and we've also got pumps and puncture outfits and things like that, just in case you get stuck. And, well, Jonny and Alistair, I think we've been coming here relatively regularly, certainly since I've been here. And I can always remember the first time I sort of formally met you. I'd just driven the 35 miles from where I live, and then subsequently Alistair, I think the first time I don't know.
Yeah, just me here.
Yeah, I think you came and you just cycled the 35 miles from just outside Leeds. I was rather out of puff from driving, and Alistair just hops off his bike and says hello. So I've got great admiration for you guys and your energies. So it really is a pleasure to welcome you here. And not only are we going to give you free tea in the future, you can have free cake as well.
Oh, thanks very much.
But you have to work for that, guys, if you want the free cake as well. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say. But it's now time for a question and answers session. We've got from now until about 25 past, I think, about 15 minutes from now. And if you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand and announce your name and where you're from, please, and your question.
Well, first off, we chose the venue. We wanted somewhere that was fairly local, somewhere that was a kind of a match between where you could have a triathlon, which obviously isn't that easy, but somewhere was beautiful and inspiring. So kind of bring together what we do sport for, being outside and active, and being inspired by the environment and the competitive aspect as well. So there's that. And then secondly, the course. I mean, we wanted it to be a triathlon for all, people who have never done a triathlon before, and I think a third of the people entered already actually have never done a triathlon before. So that kind of set the distances has probably been short to start off with. And then it was building the course around that, so that's why we decided on a super sprint, with it being the first event as well, and hoping that anyone of all sorts of different ages and abilities could have a go.
All the roads around there before, so we know which roads have got hills in them, so that obviously helps, and then, yeah, it is a beautiful place for triathlon.
It's got some it's rolling.
It's got a couple of short, sharp hills in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a nice course.
Well, I remember coming here from being very young. One of my lasting memories actually was being in the winter, and everything was frozen, and all the river, and you could lift bits of ice out of the river, and it kind of falling off the waterfalls, and that'd been amazing. Right in the depths of winter, and there was probably snow on the ground, and it was freezing cold, and then going to have a cup of tea and or something to warm up. Probably not a cup of tea at the time in one of the cafes and stuff. I remember doing walks as kids round and seeing the deer and through the deer park. I remember climbing all over the walls that you're probably not supposed to do. But I enjoyed being in the Abbey, and my mum trying to tell me about the history of it, and I think Jonny and me were more interested in chasing each other. And all sorts of things like that. And yeah, it's a nice place to come, really. It's great for kids to come and see the history of it all and just go out for a walk or whatever. And yeah, I think the reason we decided to have it here was, like I said before, we really wanted it to be an event that anyone could do, and the people would be inspired to come to. But I think now a big two influences in sport is being outside, enjoying the environment and the countryside and being inspired by that, and obviously the competitive nature of it. So it had to be somewhere nice and iconic, and that's why we chose it. Yeah, we're hoping to have a few. Obviously it's the week after London, so it could be quite good timing. Yeah. So yeah, we're hoping to have a few other elite rivals to come along. We don't want it too competitive. Well, for this year we've got a limit of 1,000, I believe. So yeah, it's mostly full already. In future years, obviously, especially if there's interest, we'd like to have a few more and expand it to allow other people, all sorts of people, including teams and all that kind of thing, to take part. But this year, it's a fantastic event. But in a way, it's our first event, so it's a bit of a pilot in some ways. So we don't want to overstretch. The plan is to do it, for however long, do it year after year. Hopefully, do it on a slightly maybe a bigger scale. Trying to encourage more people to do triathlon, and we're hoping it's an idea that will work in terms of getting all sorts of people to have a go. Maybe not just at Fountains Abbey. Like I said, the National Trust have got some amazing properties all over. Not even just obviously thousands of historical houses and that kind of thing, but amazing stretches of coast, incredible stretches of moorland and countryside in the Dales and the Lake District and all over. All sorts of places that'd be fantastic to have triathlons, and yeah, we'd love to have more going on.
Do some training first. No, we do a little bit of training after it helps, but get some kit that you've used before. Like I've tried before with silly things like using a new seat post, that kind of thing before a race. And I used to train it a couple of times before, to just get a nice new bike out of the box and then jump on it for your first time. Make sure you've tested it all, and taking a wetsuit off can be quite hard work sometimes, and jump on your bike, so just practice all the little things like that. And if you've done some training and do that, you'll be fine. And enjoy it, I suppose. Enjoy doing it.
Hopefully.
Yeah. About half an hour for the whole thing. So it'll be it's quite short for us, because our normal races are 2 hours long, so half an hour will be a good sprint, it'll be good.
Well, it's the week after London, so I suppose the season, as the kind of competitive, serious season will finish for us. We'll probably race the week after as well in Nice for our French team, but yeah, just see. Yeah, Hamburg next weekend, yeah, week on Saturday, week tomorrow.